Okay, we're live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:40 p.m. It is the 15th of February. It is also halfway through the month already, maybe a little bit more than halfway, given that there's only 28 days this month, I think, but don't quote me on that. Now, we'll be looking at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press today here in Spain. Pretty much the same stories bubbling around, the same problems that Spain has been facing regarding storms, and some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by you guys, the viewers. Then we'll also go into the live stream and check out what is happening there. But we'll get straight into the news. The first story today, Storm Oriana, I think is its name. As we can see here, hurricane force winds from this storm hit Spain, causing widespread disruption. Familiar story. Storm Oriana, the ninth major weather system to strike Spain this year, has battered large parts of the country with hurricane force winds, particularly along the eastern coast. Castellón has been the worst affected, remaining under red alert for extreme danger after winds brought down trees, walls and roofing. Although conditions improved during Saturday, weather warnings remain in force across many regions. Orange alerts are active in the Balearic Islands, Catalonia and the Valencian community, while several others remain on yellow alert for wind, rain, snow or rough seas. Emergency ES alert messages were sent to residents in affected areas, with train services suspended along key Mediterranean routes and road speeds reduced. Winds reached up to 160 kilometers an hour in Portbou, Girona. Despite major disruption, no new injuries were reported on Saturday, though several people remain hospitalized from earlier incidents and one fatality was confirmed in Catalonia. So winds continuing to pound parts of Spain. As we can see here, Castellón, the worst affected part of the country. We can see on the map from 3 hours ago where Storm Oriana is still an issue in Castilla y León, Catalonia, Castilla-La Mancha as well, and also I think Castellón, as we can see there, or parts of the Valencian community. So wherever those red warnings are in place, that is where you should be indoors currently. And if you're traveling through Spain, be careful, because this storm is getting weaker as the hours go by, but still creating a bit of an issue, as we can see on the map there, in some parts of the country. And the good news is, I don't know about where you guys are in Spain, but here in the center of the country, no rain for the next couple of days. I think Wednesday is when the rain is forecast to hit again, and we'll see if the storms continue to roll in, these storm trains. The 9th Oriana is in the period since Christmas that have been battering Spain, as we know. Now, next piece of news here, and Andalusian tourism, of course, asking the questions because they've been hit by high-speed rail disruption and successive storms. Andalusia's tourism sector is beginning to feel the impact of weeks without high-speed rail connections and a succession of severe storms since the fatal train accident, I think that is, in Alamuz, which claimed 46 lives. The region has been largely cut off from Spain's AVE network, except via Villanueva de Córdoba. Combined with recent storms, this disruption has lasted more than 3 weeks and is taking a toll on an industry that accounts for around 12% of Andalusia's GDP. Although the full economic impact has not yet been calculated, hotel and accommodation operators report booking declines of up to 30% in some destinations. The Andalusian regional government has called for financial aid to offset the damage. Tourism leaders warn that ongoing uncertainty about when rail services will fully resume is undermining confidence in high-speed travel and harming future demand. So Andalusia, one of the hardest hit areas in recent times, not only by the storms as we can see here, but also by that serious rail crash that claimed 46 lives, maybe even 47 now, we're not sure. Maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, not sure exactly when it happened, but it has severely disrupted rail travel in that part of the country. And as we saw there, the storms as well affecting roads, and tourism is down, which is to be expected because people look at the weather before they start booking holidays, or maybe they cancel and go somewhere else where they think they're going to get better weather rather than heading to a place which has had its issue in recent times. Andalusia, of course, storms and rail fatalities. Not good, but let's hope it recovers before the peak tourism season starts, which in Andalusia is not far away, of course. I think it kicks off there with the Easter week celebrations in Seville, and other people looking to get decent weather for their Easter holidays, of course. And then come summer, let's hope things are back to normal in Andalusia. Let's hope. And the final piece of news here, and it is that Spain has 4 million empty homes, but no one knows exactly where they are. Spain has millions of empty homes at a time when access to housing has become a major social concern. The latest official figure comes from the Instituto Nacional de Estadística, the INE, which recorded 3.86 million vacant dwellings in its 2021 population and housing census. More than 30% of these empty homes are located in municipalities with fewer than 10,000 residents, showing that vacancy is largely a rural phenomenon. By contrast, cities with over 250,000 inhabitants account for just 10.5% of the total. However, the data were collected during the pandemic when teleworking and temporary moves may have distorted the figures. The INE classifies homes using administrative records, especially electricity consumption, but experts warn that the lack of regular updates and detailed information makes it difficult to design effective housing policies. So another part of the puzzle when it comes to Spain's housing crisis, 4 million homes sit empty around the country, but as we can probably gather from this article here, that those homes are in parts of the country where people do not want to live. For whatever reason, they leave those places, look for jobs in cities, look for other conveniences that cities seem to have, and of course rural areas become abandoned, and of course the houses are boarded up and probably only used at holiday times. I don't know, but that is the reality of what's going on here in Spain. Cities are crowded, yes, but go to villages and you find these empty homes. Now, let's look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers. Let's have a look at this first one here from Gadzooks. Spain hasn't really had a government for the past 8 years. The chaotic coalition of lefties, radicals, terrorists, independentists can hardly be called governance. Thanks, Gad, for the comment. No doubt some people would agree with your assessment of the current government. Chaotic coalition of lefties, radicals, and other groups there, as we can see. And basically, it is the secret of Pedro Sanchez's success as Prime Minister of this country is that he has been able to do deals with all of those different political groups, regardless of where they sit on the political scale, whether they're left, whether they're right, whether they like Spain, whether they hate Spain, whether they're monarchists, whether they're Republicans. They've all signed the document that Pedro Sanchez put in front of them. What he's offered these places, I've got no idea, but I'm sure that the two principal parts of the country, Basque Country and Catalonia, are doing deals that they didn't think were possible 20 years ago. Now, I know that the Basque Country, for example, is trying to sew up the airports, to take control of the airports, take control of the ports, and basically get rid of Spain's civil guard from that autonomous community. And I know that Catalonia wants to do something similar. So that's what Pedro Sanchez, no doubt, has laid on the table as far as deals are concerned, because as I said, there are some fairly radical groups of people helping Mr. Sanchez continue in government, which he has been for the last 8 years, as pointed out by that comment there. Thank you very much. Another one here from Armagalgo. If you were actually in Spain, your comments might be more useful and sobre todo más creíble. The last bit there in Spanish, and above all, more credible. Thanks, Armagalgo. Don't know where you think that I am, but believe me, I'm in Spain. Believe me, I am in Spain. So whatever gives you the reason to think that my comments might be more useful and more believable or credible, maybe it's just a figment of your imagination that you think that I'm somewhere else. I don't know, but I'm sitting here currently in my home in the center of Spain. So thank you very much for wasting your time and mine with that comment. Thanks. The Fonz. Haven't heard from the Fonz for a while, if that's the same person. Thank God I bought a cave house 980 meters above sea level some years ago in Granada province, and they are cheap as chips. The Fonz, ever since leaving happy days in the cave home there in Granada, 980 meters above sea level, not having to worry about any of the disasters that are currently affecting people at lower levels in Spain, especially when it comes to floods. So maybe that's an option for you if you want to get into safe housing here in Spain. Buy a cave home, 980 meters above sea level. Good luck. Another one here from My Life in Spain. Hi, Stuart. I live in Alcoy, Alicante, and we got the wind alerts on our phones today. It's 10:30 p.m. at night, and I just got home after taking my dog out. It was incredibly windy, and I cannot wait for warmer weather. Thanks, My Life in Spain, for the comment. Yeah, we saw the wind warnings as a result of the Storm Oriana. Hurricane force winds in some part of the country, trees being blown over, rubbish bins being thrown around, these big rubbish containers being thrown around, people getting blown away if they were walking along the beach, sand, all of those issues that the strong winds have been causing. So take care. Having to take your dog outside, of course, one of the duties of being a dog owner. And when it rains and when it pours, you put yourself in danger, of course. Stay safe. My Life in Spain, stay safe. Another one here from, let me see, Shelley. Well, that's the almond trees and olive trees affected here in Andalusia. Almond trees in blossom. Poor bees and birds in these awful tales expect more price rises. Thanks, Shelley, for the comment there. Yes, a lot of damage to crops and fields in Andalusia. Almond trees in blossom. What about the bees? What about the birds? Good question. What about the bees and what about the birds? Don't know, but 600 billion, I think, is the estimation now as far as damage is concerned in Andalusia. It could be higher. I don't know, because there's a lot of agricultural activity in that part of the country, and it doesn't help when you're smashed by storm after storm after storm. Thanks for the comment. And the final one here from Manny. We are flying to Bilbao on Monday through Barcelona. Is it safe? Good question, Manny. If we go back to our map that we had on the screen before, Bilbao hasn't got a red warning symbol over it, so I imagine that the winds have calmed down there, which is lucky if you're flying into Bilbao Airport, because Bilbao Airport is one of those airports where planes sometimes have trouble landing when it is very, very windy. And believe me, in Bilbao, it's often very, very windy. And we can see here one of the landings that planes have had to make in the past, almost coming in sideways, trying to land on that narrow runway in Bilbao with those strong winds are blowing. But hopefully, Manny, that won't be the case for you tomorrow, and you get into Bilbao safely. Let's hope. Now let's go into the live chat. Let's see what's happening there among the viewers this evening. Before I do, I need to acknowledge the photo that's on the backdrop here on the green screen. This photo was sent in by Mick, and it's a place called Morella. I think it's in Alicante, in Castellón. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's in that part of Spain. So thanks, Mick, for the photo. Good photo as well there of the cloudy conditions and the castle sitting up there on top of the hill, ready for Ed Sheeran to write a song about it. Thank you very much. If you've got a similar shot you would like to see on the backdrop, the email address is on the screen now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. I'll get out of the way again. There we go. spainspeaks@gmail.com, or anything else you want to send my way. If you're unhappy, like some people seem to be with things that I've said in recent times, send me an email. It might go into my spam, so I won't see it, but feel free to express your opinion. Like icon is also on the screen. If you want to help give a like to the channel, feel free to do so. We're currently sitting at 46. We'll see if we can get up to a decent tally of likes today. So do us a favor and hit that like icon if you can. 46, 47. Maybe 60 or 70 likes we'll get to today. Let's see. Also, to people that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's on the Super Thanks option, whether it's on the buying me a coffee option as well, Patreon supporters, thank you very much for that support. Greatly appreciated. And also the channel members of this YouTube channel, thank you very much for that support too. To become a member of the channel, very easy to do, and you help keep the content ticking over. Now we're going to go into the chat section. Let's see what's bubbling away there. Let me scroll up to the top. Some familiar names popping out at me already here. Mike is one of those, coming in from Canada, of course. Stu's channel getting... hi, folks. Sorry of Stu's channel. Getting prepared for a blizzard tomorrow, and I can't wait. 7 below there in Vermilion. And thanks to all for the reaction to my mum's passing. Mike's mother, unfortunately, passing last week. He let us know, and plenty of people showed support in the comment on the chat section, I should say. Thanks for that, Mike. Hope all is well. Barbara's in the chat here too, coming in from the Playa Flamenca. 20 degrees there. Not sure if it's windy, Barbara, but sunny, as Barbara's saying here. Thanks, Barbara, for that. Bronny's in the chat here too, coming in from a showery South Wales. Thanks for the live stream. Best wishes, says Bronny. Thanks, Bronny. Marianne coming in from San Diego. Hoping everyone is healthy, warm and dry. Sending best wishes. Thanks, Marianne, for that. What else we got going on here? Spark. What's this? Spark Lilla, is it? Hola, amigos. Hope you've had a great week and hope the next one is even better. I think that says. Thanks for that. John's in the chat here too. Regular viewer, valued member, of course. Working late, have to catch up later. See you then, John. See you then. What else? Al's in the chat as well. Valued member. Formerly, sometimes a resident in the south of Spain, of course. Coming in from San Diego currently. Tomorrow is a national holiday in the USA. What's the celebration tomorrow, Al? Let us know if you can. Or somebody will, no doubt. Celebration in the US of A. Janet coming in from Oxford. Valued member too is Janet. No let up in the weather, sadly. Although in Seville, where her family is, things look sunnier. Let's hope that stays that way in Seville, Janet. Stephen's in the chat. Enjoyed the video about the crazy comments. They are out there. Thanks, Stephen. Some people did. Some people didn't. That's the way it is when you say anything nowadays. Alma is in the chat, coming in from Benny Hoffa. Hope everyone's safe after the storms we've been having. Thanks, Alma, for that. What else? Let's have a look. Let's have a look here quickly. Oh, we missed the first comment from Stephen. Hoping everyone's had a good one. Thanks, Stephen, for that. TYB Senior, good evening, says TYB. Thank you very much for that, TYB. Good to see you in the chat. Welsh Jackie, thoughts and prayers to all those affected by the terrible storms. Thanks, Jackie, for that too. Lee saying here, valued member Lee, the storm cycle is now over in Spain. Better weather ahead, folks. Thanks for that, Lee. Oh, I hope that is correct. Hope that is correct. Billy saying a beautiful day today in Marcia. Not sure where Marcia is exactly, Billy, but I imagine you mean to say Murcia down there in the southeast of the country. I suppose that is the case, Billy. Thanks for that. Enjoy the good weather. Kev is also in that part of Spain, Murcia. Took his wife to the airport for a 4:10 flight. Picked her up again at 10 p.m. Vicious winds there. Thanks, Kev. Stay safe. What else? What else we got going on? Tom, the hike ranger, coming in from Arizona. Sinus infection battle going on. Hope you get well soon, Tom. Hope you get well. Andrew, from the north of the country. Not bad weather, bit of sun, cloud, light rain, light wind, no rain. So very acceptable compared to the recent rubbish weather. Gigi coming in from Surprise, Arizona. Good to see you, Gigi. Ivor coming in. Good weather forecast for next week here down in the Campo near Coin. Been here 17 years and this has been the coldest, longest winter since we've been here, says Ivor. Thanks, Ivor. As somebody said earlier, maybe the storms have finished. Let's hope so. Spark, I think we saw Spark before. Hope those families are okay. Watching from Portsmouth in Hampshire in the UK. Good to see you coming in from there. Spark. Oliver. Cromwell is this. Valencia very quiet right now. Yesterday very gusty and sometimes intimidating on a motorcycle. Stay safe if you are riding a motorcycle with the strong winds. Fluttergirl, Toronto viewer, expected to reach freezing point today. Cold. Let's have a look. Sherman, hello everyone. Bad weather right across the globe. Hope it gets better soon. Thanks for all the work, Stu. Thanks for that. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Jim, here in Florida, beautiful temperatures, severe drought. Great show. We'll be in Totana in mid-March for 2 months. Thanks, Jim, for that. Hope all goes well with that stay in Totana. Murcia, of course. Alan's saying here, the crosswind component for most jet transports is 25 knots, not always adhered to. Thanks, Alan, for that. 25 knots. Don't even can't pronounce this handle here. Evening all, just finished the shift, got home, perfect timing for the stream. Thanks for that, good to see you. Oh, here we go. Al's birthday is the reason for the holiday tomorrow in the USA at a national level. Oh no, it's the President's Day celebration. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. There we go. President's Day celebration. Janet saying happy birthday to Alan for tomorrow. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Janet. Sorry. Again, Alan, happy birthday for tomorrow. Fred also saying President's Day tomorrow in the US. President's Day. Al saying good evening all, and Stuart, sadly our lovely dog did pass this very sad time. Sorry about that, Al. A&L, dog passing. Sad moment, of course, when your little furry friends pass on. And Charlie saying the top of a palm tree came down in the central park of Charlie City. Run for your lives. Yes, Charlie, run for your lives is probably a good way to sum that up. Or even here, I think in Madrid nowadays, when strong winds are forecast, they don't even let you go into parks. So, and just in case a tree does fall down and create some damage. Now, that's the end of the live stream. Short one this evening. Nothing else in the chat. Going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure as always. Back again on Tuesday. Hope to see you then. Until then, have a great start to the week. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. Adios and bye-bye.